What's a food most people hate that you actually like? This thread made me realize that I'll eat fucking anything. The one time I've had it. Natto. I was out with a bunch of people from Japan. And they just all ordered stuff for the table. Things got passed around. I took a bit of everything. Especially if I had no idea what it was. At some point, I asked what the bean dish was and if I could have some more. The table went silent and everyone looked at me like, what did I just hear the white guy say? Halva. It was a childhood treat and never knew that it was fairly unique to Eastern European, Middle Eastern families. It is so yummy. But none of my friends or husband and kids can stand it. Prunes. I don't know about most people. But most people I know hate taro, lychee, and anko. But I can't get enough. For some reason, everyone I know doesn't like sauerkraut. I like foods that have strong flavors. Like salt and vinegar chips and drunken noodles. But most people I know don't like how sour it is. Edit. Some questions answered. Drunken noodles is a Thai dish that is usually made with noodles, beef, peppers, maybe some other vegetables like eggplant, and seasoning. It's very good if there are a lot of peppers thrown in. I have had kimchi. It's pretty good, but I prefer to eat sauerkraut. I live in the US. Although I would love to visit Germany one day, visit Oktoberfest, and drive on the Autobahn, as well as basically all of the other countries in Europe. I prefer to eat sauerkraut homemade. It tastes fresher that way. And usually eat it homemade. Although occasionally I might eat a Reuben or something. Seaweed salad. Braunschweiger. It's like a liverwurst pork sausage. Almost a pate. It's salty, slightly gritty, and doesn't really have an overbearing livery taste. Most people here hate it. Spinach is the shit. When I was younger I would take spinach salads to school. Everyone thought I was crazy when I popped out my Tupperware with only the dark leaves and douse it in ranch and go to town. Anytime I tell people now, they use the vegetarians eat grass joke. When I still loved this shit when I ate meat. Edit. Wow, y'all feel strongly for your spinach. Also, raw is the way to go fam. Cooked is too slimy. Pan fried and smothered in garlic is the only exception. Also fixed typos. Edit 2. Yes, I do actually like spinach. No, it's not just ranch that I like. Any cream-based dressing. Lemon juice with salt and pepper. Or specifically Olive Garden Italian absolutely slaps on spinach. Edit 3. Obligatory thank you for the silver. Stranger. Marmite. No one seems to like it at all. Grapefruit. Everybody seems to only be able to stand the flavor if they drown it out with a pile of sugar. But I just peel it and eat it like an orange. Maybe it's because I grew up with it. But I really don't get why people hate it so much. Sprouts. Asparagus. Sautéed with salt and pepper. Heaven. I love eating straight up raw radishes. A little lime juice on it. It's so good. Seaweed crisps. Marzipan. In the USA most people think I'm a weirdo for loving the stuff. Apparently if you weren't introduced as a child it's not very good. Joke's on them. More marzipan for me. Red cabbage. My favorite food and all of my friends seem to hate it. I just eat lettuce. Like I'll get a head of lettuce and peel off leaves and eat them. Capers. I adore them. But no one else I know does. Also sauerkraut. Olives. Kimchi. I think I'm just a fiend for sour foods. I used to douse my fish in vinegar whenever we had a chippy tea. And used to eat lemon slices growing up. So. Beets. Especially on salads. Eel. A lot of people find the idea of eating it gross for some reason. Though maybe that's just in the US. Eggplants. Dried cranberries. They're fucking God's gift to humanity. I love jasmine rice and butter, but everyone around me thinks it's weird. Edit. Okay, I've learned that this isn't weird at all. I genuinely didn't know that. I've said this in a few comments, but I'll say it again so everyone can see it. But where I'm from it's not a normal thing everyone eats. Like at all. I live in a majority black and Indian country. We consume way more flour than rice, so it's just not a thing. Brussels sprouts. So good. I was once told cream cheese icing on a chocolate cake is gross. It's delicious. I love orange flavored chocolate. It always baffles me how many people don't like it. There's this great variety with popping candy I'm quite partial to at the moment. Also, had anyone in the UK actually managed to find a orange twirl in a shop rather than 2 on eBay? Edit. This is the fabled chocolate orange twirl. I have had exactly one. My girlfriend told all her friends to keep an eye out for them and one of them found one for me. They're super hard to find as assholes keep buying them up and putting them on eBay at inflated prices. Tofu. Now that I know how to cook it, I absolutely adore it, but so many people hate and refuse to try it in the first place. I was in a wellness class recently and we were discussing our healthy foods, and when I said tofu, there was an audible sigh of disgust from almost every other person at the table. I don't get the hate. It's such a versatile protein. Oh well. All the more for me. ETA. Thank you for the gold. Kind Redditor. My highest rated comment is about tofu. I'm okay with that. D. Papaya. One of my favorite fruits. But I've heard that other people think it tastes similar to puke. Goat cheese. It's like someone beautifully melded sour cream and cream cheese together in the perfect combo of texture and flavor. According to everyone I talk to, they hate tuna. I love it. Use it in all sorts of stuff. Tuna salad. Tuna stuffed potato skins. Tuna omelets. It's nothing special. I don't like it more than, say, pork or chicken. But it's great to have as some variety, and it's nice to have as something that keeps long-term at room temperature as a cheap protein. Edit. For those asking about the tuna stuffed potato skins. Here you go. A lot of people get grossed out by squid, calamari and octopus. But I love M.O. and snail, escargot. Those are good but hard to find and a little expensive. Olives. Blackberry jam. The more seeds the better. According to the internet, raisin is the devil's droppings. I like it. It does seem to me hatin' raisin as an American thing. It's called frog eyes, but better known as pickle pinwheels. A pickle wrapped in cream cheese and rolled up in salami or prosciutto. Sliced into rounds and it looks like a frog's eye. I made them for an appetizer at a party once and no one even tried them because they thought it was disgusting. Rye bread. But I'm Danish, so it's kinda a given. But most Americans that know of it don't like. Mushrooms. Edit. Wow, this blew up. I'm glad there's so many mushroom lovers like myself. Maybe it's a regional thing, but where I live and have lived, majority of people do not fuck with mushrooms. Pickles. Also dill pickle chips. Brussels sprouts. There's literally no reason for people to condemn them like they do. They're fucking delicious. Mushroom on pizza. I don't know how unpopular it is, but I remember the entire class saying ew when I suggested it for the pizza we were doing. Apparently not a lot of people like oatmeal raisin cookies. I love them. Black olives. Especially good on pizzas or salads. Broccoli. I like it with chicken. I like it by itself. I like it with carrots. I like it in my soup. Mixed in with eggs is nice too. Cottage cheese. Cream cheese and jelly. Raw tomatoes. Very tasty and refreshing. Apparently people have very strong opinions about tomatoes. Salt and vinegar chips. Crisps for my British friends. My girlfriend had a reaction that I can only describe, and primal anger when she saw me eating them. I just kept going. Crunch crunch babe. Brussels sprouts. Roast them with salt, pepper, paprika, and olive oil till they get a bit charred on the edges. Fantastic. Also shredded raw in a salad is great too. Albeit a lil crunchy. Spam. Cilantro. I know some people say it tastes like soap, but I can eat it with anything. Shredded wheat cereal. Black licorice. Here's an odd one. Aspic. It gets a bad rep because of the everything is Jello period of American history. But actually the food science history is pretty cool to me. I love to make small tomato aspics as side dishes in the summertime, though to be fair I usually make them with my grandma, who was of the aspic generation. Sardines without a doubt. Wonderful with cheese on toast. Not exactly food, but fig Newtons used to be my shit and no one else would eat it, so I was happy, but then I found out about figs SMH. Liverwurst. My family grew up eating it. But neither of my kids nor their mom want anything to do with it. Okra fried, boiled, stewed with tomatoes, in gumbo. All good. What's more, it's one vegetable I loved even as a kid. Edit. I am from Georgiano. Not that owneth state in the USA. Sauerkraut. Even just by itself. But it's always better with some brats and or potatoes. Vienna sausages. Oxtail. I can only have it when I am away at work. My wife can't stand it, and whenever she asks me what I had for my tea, guarantee that night would have been oxtail. Brussels sprouts. I really don't see what's so bad about them. My mom makes them in a way that she never told me, and Ida absolutely amazing. They're delicious. There's a fermented fish, shrimp, herb, mung dish called pamlem that Americans typically don't like because it's very fishy. But it's meant to be eaten in small quantities with large quantities of veggies and rice. I feel the same about Vegemite and Marmite. Once I started off with very small quantities on toast, I enjoyed it a lot more. There's also a fermented soybean dish Japanese make called natto, which is kind of slimy and smells bad. But if you can get past those two things, it actually tastes quite good. Durian. Haggis. Put that shit on a pulled pork sandwich. On a burger. Stuff it in a chicken breast. Anything. It just tastes so fucking good. I really couldn't care less what it's made out of. It doesn't creep me out or whatever. It honestly tastes so good. The oats and spices they mix in really make it what it is. Oatmeal cream pies. Coleslaw. I feel like most people hate it. However, when done right, it's amazing. Mustard. Fuck ketchup. I always say, hot dogs are just vessels to get mustard and relish into my mouth. Hot dogs aren't even good. Mustard is delicious. Not a food, but a lot of people think it gross when I say I like eggnog.